What's good, YouTube, and welcome to the house. This is a subject I wasn't really looking forward to touching again with you guys, but like I said, when there's a change in information to a situation, I should be bringing it to you. And there was a phrase that was in Konami's post yesterday, their verified account on Reddit, that disappeared. They just say, please bear in mind the odds of each card are based on the entire production run and not an individual pack or display. While there may be some variances if one was to compare the pull rates from a few dozen packs, it all evens out when you look at the print run as a whole. Well, originally the opening line to this was, there are no short prints specified in Legendary Collection Kaiba Mega Packs card list, and that's now gone from their post. What I'm being told from another tuber, actually, Alintheo, he said his last case was broken, and he actually ended up having that one filmed. But let me pull up what he actually told me about his cases. He said 1 to 2 Ash per case over there. We've opened about 5 to 6 cases, 2 maximum so far. Again, this is a small pool relatively. I had given you ratios from 10 cases before. Now we have Alintheo, a tuber, one of the most honest faces of the community. He's not going in with vendors. He's been there since basically I started Yugi tubing, and he's a really positive influence on the community. He's critical of Konami when he needs to be. He's honest, and he's telling me that he opened 1 to 2 Ash per case. I wouldn't call this short printed because the average ratio of an ultra rare should be about 4. So maybe short print wasn't the term for it, and I thought Konami would stick with that. Maybe we needed to create a new term for this, like half print, because it realistically does have less odds, but I think that still encompasses within short print, just not in our usual term for short print. This is relatively insane. He said on other cards that he opened, other hand traps seem to be fine, 3 to 4 per case, 5 cherries in 1 case even. He said 3 just desserts in 2 cases that we opened, so like 1.5 each. Yeah, it's pretty insane that they're experiencing those same ratios that I originally said. I didn't take down that video because I think it's important to own your own mistakes, and now Konami's changed their post here, and I guess it's the same thing. I want whoever did make this post to keep in mind, mistakes do happen. You say something that maybe isn't true. And Masao Ikawa, I think, on Facebook, he's really well known in Zodiac. He's a fellow moderator with me, might have put this best. Konami has officially stated there are no short prints in Legendary Collection Kaiba. Any information to the contrary should be taken with a grain of salt, as it is generally being perpetuated by those who have something to gain from whatever representation they are making. So basically, he's saying vendors have a reason to kind of twist it and say ratios for pre-sales, for that kind of thing. But here we have Alintheo. It's only 5 cases, keep in mind, but they're resembling the past ratios. However, while there may be no intentional short prints in the set, the manufacturing process can lead to unintentionally short printed cards of certain cards. During the printing process, there is typically a pattern to how cards are printed on uncut sheets. This is usually a repeating pattern of one of every card in the set, but this is not always the case. See Star Packs, Core Sets, Secret Rares, Pre-Soul of the Duelist, etc. For Yu-Gi-Oh! There are generally 110 slots on an uncut sheet, and there are an odd number of Secret Rares and Ultra Rare in the set, 49 and 61 respectively. Even assuming some correction is made to prevent the 12 Ultra Rares from being printed at the half rate of the others, there is likely still to be cards that are shorted. Of particular note is the fact that the cards that get shorted by the process can be manipulated. I wouldn't be surprised if these production shorted cards coincidentally happen to be the chase cards. Too long don't read. 10 cases of Legendary Collection Kaiba is statistically irrelevant. Short prints can exist even if Konami is telling the truth, and the printer can select which cards get shorted in production. 02 is still best girl, referencing, you know, referencing the darling anime. I'm actually watching that with my fiance also. It's a really good anime. But the whole rundown here is that intentional or unintentional, no matter what, there can be short prints in a set in Konami's control or out of Konami's control, and it is looking to be Ash Blossom still from 5 more cases. Again, I'm not saying that number is significant enough for us to actually look at it and take it as truth yet, but I will have a card pool on the opening day of it when cases are supposed to be open. I'll try to hit up some of the bigger sources and hopefully get a bigger total pool, maybe from multiple places, of ratios, and I'll list each one and who they are if I can, and try to give you guys a total amount of what's happening here, because this is insane. The post just randomly is missing, and it's not really random. The phrase, "There are no short prints specified in Legendary Kaiba collection." This is, I don't know how to put it. I don't know how to approach this. I really want Konami to be able to step forward. I want them to be able to communicate with us. I want them to be forward with us as they were. And I understand sometimes you're going to misspeak. I've misspoken. I've said combos wrong. I've said rulings wrong. And realistically, the way to really take care of it is just to own it. To really, let's go full mode here. Let's talk together. The realistic way is just to own it. You really have to take what you're saying and try to put the information out there the best you can and correct what you mean. I don't think just erasing a phrase from a post that's already been made very public is perhaps the way to go about it. And I don't want this to seem like you're under a firing squad, like you're being interrogated. I really want it to seem like an open chat, an open communication, because I think people like you a lot more than you give them credit. I know it's real easy for tubers to roast Konami. It's real easy for people to try to go in on them. But that's the way it always is when you're looking up at people who control things, at people who have a large say, and people like to be the small man fighting the power. And for a lot of tubers, that just happens to be an easy viewpoint, an easy win, and I don't think it is that way. I think Konami, in general, has our best interest in mind. They run a game differently than anybody else, and while there's a lot of ways to complain about things that they do, I think I'm one of the few tubers that does take what they do positively for the community and try to give back, especially Konami EU, who made this Twitter post. Your coverage is the best, hands down. What you do for tubers is the best, hands down. I want you to be able to continue to reach out to us, to communicate with us, and not let this deter you, please. So if I have a suggestion, it's to maybe make a new thread or post or statement actually addressing perhaps the situation, maybe on how print runs work, maybe on why and how this could happen. Even Masao said it can be randomly or it can be chosen, and after a statement like that, with it being Ash Blossom, I think a lot of people would like an explanation after an official post. It's pretty crazy to just erase the line out of the post when over 18,000 people saw it on my YouTube. I know it's only 86 upvotes on Reddit, and I know they don't constantly monitor YouTube for Konami and Yu-Gi-Oh! So I'm just saying, if you see this, I think that's the best way to approach it. Companies that are open with their community, such as Fortnite, which I've been watching, do very, very well. Like, they took one of their top streamers, and they actually made a skin for him, the Plunja. That was really, really cool. It's like, his name's Ninja, and they made a Plunja, was spelled kind of like Ninja, and they put a katana in a plunger. And they also did something really awesome for their community recently, which I would love to see for Duel Links. They made special skins that if you get a Twitch Prime account, you get these special skins and extras. Imagine if you did that for Duel Links with something like a playmat and extra sleeves and maybe one special rarity card promo. There's really ways that I'd love to see you reach out to the community that isn't being done by your company, that is by others, that honestly goes along with your non-cash prizing, that goes along with what you're currently doing. I appreciate you taking time to reach out to the community, and I want to see that continue. So everybody in the comment section below, do let me know what you think about this. And again, I'll try to get a wider pool of cases opened from perhaps major vendors or others, and get that to you on release date when they're supposed to be opened. But this really is a pretty big surprise to see today, and like I said, it's not a topic I wanted to press. It's not a topic I wanted to get into or looked forward to. I really don't like going against Konami if it can be helped. I really enjoy the work that they do typically, and I'm usually the last one trying to stand in their defense. So this isn't something that I just wanted to borrow into, but sometimes you gotta borrow load pass, boys. Sometimes you gotta do it.